Well, it looks like it's 2 episodes in a row. I actually witnessed this being set up, though. Oh my, there are items down here. Um, yeah. There's a whole bunch of snowmen jamming this end up. He was nice enough to block it off and limit it to one area. This was done by Doggeth, and I'm actually very thankful that he limited them to one specific part of the base. I saw him set this up on live stream. He knew I was watching. I told him to go ahead and do it. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Mr. Snowman, they're all over the place. Oh, and we started a snowball fight. Not quite sure how that got started. Let's go under here. And put you out of your misery. You, you, and you, and you. Okay. I have to admit the snowmen are a little cheery, even if they do have a distressed look on their face. Oh, they're attacking the small little spirit thing. That's what they're doing. I keep wondering what they're firing at. And it basically, I guess, counts as a hostile mob. That's interesting. Snowmen are very, very cool. I like the fact that they're actually kind of like a friendly mob that has a ranged attack. I think the only thing I really know that has a ranged attack is, oh gosh, that would probably, the only thing I know that with a ranged attack, actually, I don't know anything with that's friendly that has a ranged attack. Everything I know, the Snowman's the only one. Everything else is like the Blaze has a ranged attack, but it's hostile. I think I hammered a fence at some point on accident. I don't know. I know that Dog has set this up, so that's okay. Let's put our magnet back on. We're gonna wait for the snow. And I'm just gonna distribute a few extra lights here and there to help melt the snow. I think that will do it if I remember right. The glass on the outside is lit also. That's not a problem. Yeah, easy to clean up, nice and simple because it was all in one area. Thank you very much, Doggeth. A lot of people didn't like last episode. I'm sorry you didn't, but we all have bad days. So there you go. Let's see. Let me go all the way down here and go back over here. We were working on various systems. Let's see. We have the metal stamper set up over here. We got that up and working. I think I put my sledgehammer back. Yep, right there. We've got wooden storage crates. I think that if let's go request some. I can't remember if it pulls directly from the chest or not. I'm just going to request, let's say 10 iron and see what happens. I'm a little fuzzy on this, but yeah. So that does not work. But that will, which means we need to get a hopper. Left click there. Right here. And here's something that I learned on the test server a few months back. You can insert with a hopper directly into, which means if I do this. Oh, it needs power. Right. Hang on a sec. Silly me. Yeah, these insert directly into whatever chest. So that's going to be very, very nice. Power. We were going to actually do power. And I think I got it all automatically set up. If we go to craft, I want to get, let's get 8 of those and some MV wire. Let's see what that nets us. That's going to go through the auto crafting process. It's bouncing around the network. So we have to be a little bit more patient because these things are actually getting made for us on the fly. There we go. I think that we have we do, whoops, that. Okay, that is going to connect, and then we can do this and this. We go boop, boop, and then right click, which means now in theory, if we get one of these, oh, we need the plate. I forgot something else. And I could hear you all screaming at the screen. Okay, let's look at immersive engineering real quick. Immersive engineering actually has various things that we have to make. Ooh, a dropping conveyor belt. That's nice. I didn't know that was a thing. Every time I look at immersive engineering, I see something new. That's what we want right there. But in order to make one of these, let's see. I'm going to have to do some steel. Let's request 4 of those and some copper. I think that was... Let's look at this again real quick. Oh, electrum. Got my shading wrong. Let's get one of those. I think... oh, there we go. And then we do this. How do we make an electrum plate? Nickel or silver or copper. Well, that's ironic. We can only make copper if we have the plate already. Well, I can make it with another steel plate. That solves the problem. There we go. So we can only do steel this way, apparently. Which means what we have to do is get 5 of those, and we have to do like that and that. We get the mold. I remember right. I just do that, and it puts it right there. Sits it right there. We do this, and we should hear a... There we go. Actually, we don't hear anything. I think I have the sounds down. Do I have that? I haven't installed Optifine, mostly because I'm just trying to find a little bit of stability. No, I got a lot of things turned up. Okay, it just doesn't make a noise. I thought it did. So now, I always get over 30 FPS, but my FPS ranges from 45 to 90, which is kind of strange. So I put in Fastcraft and Optifine to see if I could stabilize things a little bit. I think the problem is my Java arguments, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what Java arguments I want. But I see, let's see, if we have... We could make an auto crafter that puts in 1 ingot here and expects the 1 plate out on the other side. So we could hook this up to the LP system to automatically make the plates we need. And that is one thing I was going to be doing on this episode. I wanted to finish that, though. One thing I'm going to do, let's get, whoa, not 64. Let's get 10. Let's say steel. Let's do copper, silver, electrum, and those. I need to make more electrum. Wow. I'm going to clear that out. Let's put this up here, here, and here. I'm just going to dump those in there. Beautiful, beautiful. And we can come back and check on that later. I thought it made a ka-chunk noise. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have the configurations adjusted. Okay. So down here, somewhere right there, and actually I do need that wrench. Yep, it is not hooked up to anything. Okay. So what I want to do is go over here. And I think what I want to do is put it right there. I need 2 things of water. That is going to fill up. It's set to export. And I need to go make some parts from logistics pipes. I want to set this up to where anything that I hook up to the logistics pipes network can use water. And I could pipe water into it on demand. I don't have to have an external reservoir piping water into it. Let's see. Can't remember. Yeah, this doesn't require power. And if you do cobblestone, you only have to put water in it once. That's a bad example. Never mind. Okay, so we actually have a lot of pipes down here. Logistics fluid container supplier uses buckets or other fluid containers to fill the connected tank. There is basic fluid pipes, right? And those are actually pretty simple, but we're going to need some pipe sealant. Thankfully, we actually have a stockpile. I'm actually going to get 2 of those. 2 stacks of cactus green. We have a stockpile of cactus green, and we need to actually get it cooked. I think. What was pipe sealant? Oh, just crafting. Well, that's easy. Okay. Let's do it the easy way. I'm actually going to go find a home for this stuff right now, so it goes to the proper location. Yes. We already have some buckets in the system, which means we can come right up here, and I can just do that. It's a basic logistics pipe. Let's request 10 of those. I happen to have 10 buckets in the system. I actually can't remember why. Buckets. That's interesting. Birdcraft. I thought his router was going out. Well, there's the other 5 buckets. It had to make them. Okay, there we go. So we have these. First thing I need to do, actually, of course, is just learn that in the EMC table real quick. Say hello to YouTubes. Gotta put those right there for the time being. Let's see. Fluid insertion pipe. This should be pretty self-evident. I'm actually going to get 1 of those. Boop. We need to learn that. Berg says hello. There's provider pipes. Lots of glass bottles. Thankfully, we're getting those from the witch farm. There is the request pipe. Noticing a pattern here? 2 glass bottles. All of them made from these basic pipes. Fluid extractor pipe. I actually... fluid insertion pipe. Oh, okay. Then let's do... I want to make another one of those, just in case. And then... Let's see, fluid extraction pipe. I want to do that. Yeah, I do have all the parts. I knew I had some wood pipes out there already. Means now I can do this and that and make one of those. So, of course, teach things, all of the EMC things. So I'm going to make some more of these pipes, and basically I'm just following NEI directions. I'm going to make some more pipe supplies for us. And I'm going to make sure that we have all we need. And we're going to go set up a water supply that I can hook anything to get automatically supplied through the logistics pipe system. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all the parts. I've got everything set up. I've even got parts of the floor dug up. I am ready to go. So there are several different kinds of pipes. Let's go back to logistics. There's several different kinds of pipes. Firewall. Yeah, it starts at firewall. Fluid container supplier pipe, where you can actually have it use buckets or other fluid containers on your actual network, on the LP network. It is intelligent about it, I believe. And it will fill a connected tank using buckets if that system does not accept having fluids pumped directly into it. Basically, this is for containers that have an interface that only accepts buckets. They can't have liquids piped directly into it. I believe that's what it's for. I could be wrong. I've never used it for anything other than that. Basic fluid pipe, this is the basis for crafting a whole bunch of other ones. You probably won't actually put these down anywhere. At least I don't think you do. I've never had to. A lot of people say that you have to have these on every point along the way where you're going to actually have fluid, and that's not correct, and I'm going to show you that's not correct. There is the fluid insertion pipe. This is an active pump. It gets a specific liquid, like if you have a bucket of water and you put it in there, it will get water and force pump it into an object. You can use this to actually power floodgates. You can put it in tanks, whatever. Provider pipe. This is basically requesting the liquid from somewhere else in the network on individual containers. It is not pumping it as a stream. It is sending it as an on-demand system. This is the liquid equivalent of how we have the kitchen set up. The refrigerators over in the main tower, those refrigerators automatically have, if I use one piece of raw chicken, it gets a piece of raw chicken from the network and it puts it in the refrigerator. That's it. It's real simple. And it gets those from the request pipe. No. Yeah, the provider pipe gets it from the supplier pipe. And it even says, pulls fluids from a logistics fluid provider pipe. This doesn't work unless you have one of those somewhere on the network. That's it. It's real simple. Satellite pipes we're going to get into in another episode. I'm not going to handle those now. There's the extractor pipe, which is the opposite version of the insertion pipe. It actively pumps out. That's it. So there is also one called the request pipe, which I have in my hand. I'm going to put that right here, and then we're going to come back to it. I have the supplier pipe, and this supplies the rest of the network. It's got that plus symbol on it. We right-click on this. It supplies something on the network with, and we don't want that here. Supplier pipe is going to go down here onto the electrolytic separator. The provider gives what it needs to the rest of the actual suppliers. So this has no settings. It is automatically detecting what fluid is in this tank, and it works from there. I don't have to do anything on that end. Over here, I hit this with my wrench. I've got an interface. Bucket of water. You'll see this weird little thing that says water over it, logistics pipes. What that is a logistics pipes container, a fluid container. It's one of those. They get made automatically and then sent about the network, and when they're not needed anymore, they disappear. It is a method for explaining how logistics pipes moves fluid around it, flips them around in these little capsules. It's very cool. So I can then set, do I want partial or minimum mode, one bucket at a time? So I'm going to set this to keep 4. What's the max on this? Does the tooltip say? No, the tooltip doesn't say. Okay, I don't know what the maximum is. I'm thinking 4 is at least halfway. Partial? No. I'm going to do yes. One bucket minimum, 5. I'm just going to do 1 bucket minimum partial. So I'm telling it to keep 4 buckets at a time, but if 1 bucket gets used, it will refill it automatically with 1 bucket. Now what you're seeing is, this is, oh wow, 4 buckets is nothing. Hang on a sec. Let's do, that looks like it's probably going to be half. and this water level will start filling up to half, and it refills every time a bucket gets used. It will fill more. Now, normally, if we had settings turned on to see items in the pipes, you would see these little capsules whipping around the network. But leaving that setting on, while it looks very cool, can actually do a lot towards lowering your frame rate. So all in all, I'm very glad we have it turned off. But now this thing is automatically being provided with water somewhere else on the network. For all this thing cares, this setup could be in the main tower. It does not care. I can now get water from this using one of these supplier pipes. That's it. You only need a provider, a fluid provider, and a fluid supplier. That's all. It's real simple. You can do this for water, for lava. I think anything that is recognized by logistics pipes as a valid fluid. In that, like if we search for water in here, you notice how it's got a water source block? If you just clear this out, there's water source, there's lava source. If we go to mechanism, there's things that are registered, I think, in the fluid dictionary. They don't list as fluids here because a lot of the mechanism stuff, they don't want you to bucket it out onto the floor. But like you can see here, this is, let's see. These are different fluids. Liquid death, that's fuel. Plant oil, pink slime, medium brine, witchery fluid, the fluid disease, liquid brew. There's liquid hydrogen, there's sludge from MFR, milk, tectonic petroleum. I don't even know what that means. I think that's a thermal expansion thing. Hollow tears, liquid sulfur dioxide, all sorts of crazy stuff. If it's a liquid in one of these tanks, you can pump it around. That it means even liquid XP. I could pump liquid XP from place to place. Now over here, it should be, we have the equivalent of a request pipe, but we have it for liquids only. If I wanted to, I could set a container on here and request X amount of water units. And it even says, hey, you have 2K millibuckets. You have basically 2 buckets worth of water that it can pull out of this. So if I wanted to, I could have this pumping into, let's say, a bedrockium drum, okay? So let's get a bedrockium drum. I'm actually going to pop this. I'm going to put this right here. It's immediately going to start filling up with water. Let's kill that. Now, I don't have to do this, but I like having a basic pipe on the end before I put one of my fancy pipe connectors. And so now this thing is supplying water, and it's just going to be filling up for me. And if I go over here, we're seeing 17K, 20K. That's going to go up and up and up and up. That's how much water we could request. We could basically request all of that water from a full bedrockium drum get moved to another drum over here. So if I have a container that takes 16 buckets, I could connect it on top of this, just set it down or click it onto the side. Let's see. Tank. Portable tank, that's 512. Fluid tank, here we go. Gonna put that right there. This holds 16 buckets. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do, whoopsie. I'm actually not sure what measurement system it's using. I don't know if this is buckets. 6. Is that going to be millibuckets in measurement? Do I want to request 16,000? I think I have to. Let's try it this way. It should automatically route through the request table to this tank if I've got it set up correctly. I'm still figuring some of this out, so I'm going to make mistakes on this. I'm just letting you know. But yeah, I don't know why. That's not... I think it's filling other priorities first. That is hooked up on the bottom. This is still getting water. Yep. Still providing water. So now I'm going to do dump excess on this for the time being, specifically because I don't have anywhere to send that stuff yet, which comes down to these bedrockium drums are expensive, but actually, no, we want to do... These are both gases. I think it will handle it. I can't remember. Drum. Let's see. Actually, no, let's just do hydrogen. Yep, you can put... No. You can't put hydrogen gas. It has to be liquid hydrogen. So we can't do that, which is fine. We can put liquid hydrogen, portable tanks. Yeah, I'm going to have to liquefy it first, which means for now, I don't know why this thing isn't. Let's do hull. You can pump directly into these. Just going to, oh. There we go. I didn't click it. Silly me. And boom, there we go. Instantly. It's filled with water. Jeez, I thought I was going crazy for a second there. I actually don't, need this setup. So I'm just going to clip it off real quick. I'm going to put it up there. And for the time being, I'm going to button up the floor. But if I wanted to, I could have one of those request pipes poking out that actually did keep whatever I wanted to in it. Let's just put that away. We don't need this anymore for the time being. I don't need that. I cannot use those. They're expensive anyway. What we need to do is come over here and we're going to look at gas tank. I need to find the empty one. I don't think I have any pulverized iron, but I have been making a whole bunch of pulverized osmium because it's used in a whole bunch of recipes. Right there it is. I'm just going to get some of that and let the rest of that process. We only need 2. And I'm going to put that right there. Let's just request the differential on that. Whoops. And then one more. Oxygen and hydrogen. And as soon as those fill up, the excess will just get dumped off automatically. So I have some method now for getting this gas and pumping it elsewhere. This is very, very cool. In future episodes, what I'm going to be doing is setting up a liquefaction system. It sounds weird when I say it that way. It is called, I always have to find the machine. Rotary condensator. Basically, it condensates or it concentrates, however you want to say it. This was named by the community, and I think it's funny as heck. The rotary condensator gets gases and turns it into liquids, or vice versa. So what we want to do is we want to have everything that is a gas converted into a liquid, and then it gets piped downstairs where it is held in bedrockium drums down here. Then we have a system that de-liquefies it and turns it back into a gas as we need it on demand. That's the part we're going to have to figure out. Once we get into the liquid form, though, I can do a setup that hooks into the LP system down here, and we can just have provider pipes hooked up to these things, and it will send the liquid where we need to. Then, on the other end, we just have the LP system hook into this. This turns it from a liquid into a gas and passes it off to the machine. It's going to make sense once I get there, but basically, we are delving into the deep ends. We're starting to get into the very, very early prospects of the deep ends of mechanism, and that's going to be very, very cool. I want to use some parts of immersive engineering, so I'm going to be making some extra of these different plates that immersive engineering uses, and I would actually like to start getting into some of the tools. I want to make a crusher. I'm not sure where I want to put it. The crusher is a pretty big decorative thing, so I might actually put the crusher right here. I think this would be a really good location for it, and we could use logistics pipes to just kind of pop things straight up to it automatically, pull things out. It would be glorious. I will catch you folks later. Have a great Wednesday. Have a great week if I don't see you later in the week. Let's see. There is going to be an episode of Vaygrim's Chance Season 3 on Friday. There is not going to be a live stream on Friday. I did live stream today, if you missed it. I'm getting back into the regular live streaming, but I've got an appointment on Friday that I cannot miss with some friends, some Minecraft friends coming in here to Houston. So I'm going to go see them. I will catch you folks later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.